YouTube? It's Echo Bear, and today I want to review an app for you guys. It's called Ely. I think that's how it's pronounced anyway. But before I get into talking about this app and why I like it and all that other fun stuff, let's get through some of the serious stuff. And again, before I start, I'm going to be mentioning this in every video this week. It's kind of late and it's close to midterms, so I'm trying to be kind of quiet so my roommates can either study or sleep. So Ely is an app that's made by Setsnail, and the first version that I can find of it being released was on April 26, 2016. And pretty much as far as genre goes, this is definitely a puzzle platformer game. Like, pure and simple puzzle platformer. So let's get to the fun stuff. Ely, oh my gosh, where do I start with this game? It's super pretty. Let's start with the aesthetics. This app is super duper pretty. I really love the feeling of this because you play as like this little fluffy slug creature that just kind of scoots its butt along these floating platforms in like this foresty area, trying to collect gems and like clean up the platforms and just get through these different puzzles without either falling off into the abyss, because this is a very gravity heavy game, or falling into spikes and meeting your untimely doom. But pretty much that's your premise, is just getting through all of these levels and figuring out how to use the gravity in your favor to get through these. Because it kind of plays off of Super Mario Galaxy kind of mechanics, where no matter what angle you're at, it still cements you to the ground. So rather than like pretty much this being your plane and this being where you fall off, you just wrap around and then this becomes your bottom plane. So that's kind of the best way I can describe it, is you kind of just suction to whatever area is closest to you, and that becomes the new bottom. So pretty much you have to use that to your advantage to get through these puzzles. And honestly, it gets really hard as you go because the timing gets more specific. You have to jump, you have to plan your arcs, you have to plan like, okay, in this round, am I going to go for the time bonus? Am I going to go for the crystals? Am I go for cleaning up? Am I going to do jumps? Because through each level that you progress through, it gives you different types of challenges to do in that level. You can ignore all of the challenges in general and just kind of play through it. But doing this is to your advantage because as you progress through these levels, if you complete all three, you get a ribbon. And as you get farther and farther into these levels, you need more and more ribbons to progress through the game. So you don't have to do that, but it is to your benefit to complete all of the challenges in each level. So that increases the replayability of each level a lot because you want to keep going, so you're going to have to play through the levels again and try to finish those all the way. As of right now, there are 60 levels. I haven't gotten through all of them because this is a fairly difficult game, but what I have gotten through has been really fun and enjoyable, and it isn't kind of like one of those puzzles where all of the solutions are instantly really obvious to you. Yeah, sometimes they will be, but that's in the earlier levels. As you get through the later levels, they start getting more difficult, more challenging, and you have to think more and trial and error a little bit more. And most of the time that would seem like a downside to some people, but with the quick respawns, quick restarts, it doesn't really feel like that. Musically, this game is also really just beautiful. Like, the best way I can describe this app is just purely beautiful, because everything in it is just like has this underlying tone of just like, I don't know how to explain it, just kind of like magic to it. It's really calm and relaxing, but it somehow feels really mystical and mysterious, and all of the rooms have their own little designs, and it just feels like it's its own living, breathing world within this tiny little app, which is super impressive. Setsnail, you guys like have done A+ jobs on the apps I reviewed, and like just such a good job. It's amazing. Pretty much if you like puzzle platforming games, this is definitely an app you should check out because it follows a lot of the same tropes and it has a lot of replayability. So I definitely suggest it to you if you enjoy those types of games. For everything this game has, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. There are some times where it gets really difficult and you get stuck on levels and there's no real way to progress without finishing the level at least. So I can see like where you need to be able to do that because the levels are getting harder, but I wish there was something like hints of where to jump or some sort of way to help you along in that aspect. So that's really my only complaint. Otherwise, this game is like a beautiful, polished piece of work that I definitely recommend you should check out. I'm leaving the link in the description so you guys can go download it for yourselves and check it out. So as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like and comment down below, hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye! I got my massive bottle of tea here with me. I've drank all of this tonight. I may have a problem. I'm not sponsored, by the way. I just really love this tea. I would love to be sponsored. Snapple, yo, get at me. I'll sponsor you in a heartbeat.